Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. So today I'm going to talk about something I call lost in translation, but still trying. Okay, before I start, let me be honest with you guys. I am not one of those people who grew up speaking perfect English. You know, those people who casually says, "Oh, I've been speaking English since I was 3, since I was 2, since I was 1." Meanwhile, me, I was just fighting for my life, trying to pronounce literally without sounding like my tongue gave up halfway. So, my daily life has always involved switching between languages. At home, I speak Bahasa Melayu. With friends, it's usually Bahasa Melayu mixed with English. And sometimes, my brain changes languages halfway through a sentence until even I get confused myself. Like suddenly, wait, what language am I using right now? And honestly, it can be exhausting sometimes, especially in class. Well, there were so many moments when I want to answer confidently, but my brain suddenly froze like an old laptop opening too many tabs. I knew the answer, like I really knew the answer. I just didn't know which language want to come out first. I be like, do I say because or sebab? And then I just nodded like an NPC in class. So, ladies and gentlemen, growing up in Malaysia is actually beautiful because we are surrounded by different languages, cultures, accents, and ways of speaking. But at the same time, it also comes with pressure, okay? Because somehow people expect us to sound perfect all the time. So, if your English is fluent, people will say, "Wow, speaking London already, yeah?" But if your English is weak, you've been learning English since primary school, good? Huh? Like, what are we actually supposed to do, bro? So, for the longest time, I genuinely thought my English was just average. Like, okay lah, can survive presentation, can understand movies without subtitles sometimes, can do assignment, and the most important one, can fake confident during speaking activities. But, fluent? I think definitely not. Then came Form 5, SPM season. The season where everybody suddenly becomes stressed, sleep deprived, and emotionally unstable. I had to sit for my oral speaking test, and trust me, I walked into that exam room with zero expectation. I thought I was going to panic badly because usually before presentations, my hands would shake, my mind would go blank, and suddenly even basic vocabulary disappeared from my brain. But weirdly enough, during the actual speaking test, I felt calm. Not fully calm lah, but calmer than expected. Yeah, that was good though. I was just talking naturally with my partner like a normal conversation instead of trying too hard to sound advanced and bombastic. And honestly, I think that helped me a lot though. Even my speaking partner was shocked after we got our result because she originally got B1 before this, but during SPM, she managed to get C1 for speaking, though it's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, right? And I think that moment really changed my perspective because sometimes we underestimate ourselves too much before even trying. Then the result came out, and honestly, I was super shocked, like genuinely shocked. I got an A plus for English. Oh my god, English A plus. Wow. But the thing that surprised me the most was my CEFR result. You know what? I got C1 for my CEFR result. And my speaking test was also C1. Speaking me. Funny. Even I stared at the paper like, there's no way this belonged to me. Because in my head, I was still the same person who overthink before ordering food in English. The same person who suddenly forgets simple vocabulary during the presentation and the same person who said, wait, when nervous. Okay? And that moment made me realize something. Sometimes we are improving without even noticing it. There's a French proverb that I really love. Petit à petit l'oiseau fait son nid, which means little by little the bird builds its nest. And Honestly, that perfectly describes my journey with English. I didn't just suddenly wake up and be fluent overnight. It happened slowly through songs, movies, random TikTok videos at 2 a.m., awkward class presentation, conversation with friends, and honestly, a lot of embarrassing mistakes too, yeah? And the journey definitely did not stop after SPM because guess what? Now I'm a TESOL student in IPG. And honestly, that transition was harder than I expected. Because growing up, I was always more confident speaking Bahasa Melayu. I could express my thought easily, tell stories naturally, and speak comfortably in front of people if I speak in English. But when it came to English, I still had to think more carefully. So entering TESOL felt intimidating at first, but suddenly I was surrounded by people who spoke English very confidently. Some of them sound so fluent until I start questioning myself like, am I even supposed to be here? There were moments when I felt insecure during discussions or presentations because I kept comparing myself to other people. At one point, I even realized that I was trying too hard to sound correct instead of sounding natural. And honestly, trying to master two languages at the same time is not easy, okay, everybody? Especially when you love Bahasa Melayu deeply but also want to improve your English without feeling guilty or awkward about it. And honestly, language has always been my strongest side. I've always loved speaking, storytelling, writing, and expressing ideas. But when it comes to calculation, especially at math, let's just say me and number were never best friends, okay? There were times during SPM where I genuinely felt frustrated because no matter how hard I tried, some subjects just felt harder for me compared to languages. But I think that experience taught me something important. Not everybody is naturally good. At the same time, and that's okay, I think, because life itself is a learning process, okay? Even now in IPZ, I'm still learning every single day, not just about English, but also about communication, confidence, patience, and understanding about people. And honestly, if I want to become a good teacher someday, I know I cannot stop learning just because some things felt difficult. Because I think for me, a good teacher is not someone who know everything perfectly. A good teacher is someone who is willingly to keep improving. And slowly, I started understanding something important. Being good at English does not mean I have to abandon my love for Bahasa Melayu. I can appreciate both, okay? I can be expressive in Malay and still improve my English. It's not a competition between languages, okay? And I think that realization helped me to become more confident with myself and be more confident in speaking in English. Even now, I still don't consider myself fully fluent. I'm still learning. There are still days where I overthink before speaking. There are still moments where my pronunciation sounds weird or my grammar suddenly disappearing during presentation. Oh my god. But now, instead of feeling embraced all the time, I try to see it as part of the learning process. Because language is not really about sounding perfect every second, it's about connection. It's about being brave enough to express yourself even when you are scared people might judge you. And I think confidence is the hardest part. Not grammar, not vocabulary, but the confidence itself. Because many students actually know English. They understand it. They read it, they can write it, but they are scared to speak. Scared people will laugh, scared that their grammar is wrong, scared that their accent sounds funny. So instead of trying, they choose to stay quiet. And honestly, I understand that feeling so well because I used to feel that too. That's why I believe classrooms should feel safe, not scary. Students should feel comfortable making mistakes because honestly, nobody learns through embarrassment. Okay? People learn when they feel supported. Another French proverb says, wait, let me think. Let me remember first, okay? Okay. La langue est la clé du cœur, which means language is the key to the heart. And I really believe that because language is more than just grammar rules or exam papers. Language helps us to connect. It helps us to express emotion, stories, opinion, and who we truly are. Before I end my speech, I just want to say this. Do not underestimate your progress just because you are not perfect yet. Sometimes growth happens quietly, little by little, day by day. And one day, you may suddenly look back and realize, wait, I've actually came this far. Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.